To the left. I was right here the whole time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Playership Podcast Cave Sessions, episode 17. I'm your host, Aaron Warwick. I've got my own name there. Aaron Warwick, and with me, as always, is the lovely Emma. G'day, Emma.
I'm out of breath.
We were just singing along to Mr. McAdams, Little Dickie's song from season 3. I don't know if I told you, Em, but Little Dickie and Dave, same person, I guess.
Same person.
But is releasing an album very soon.
Ooh, that one?
Well, he's releasing songs from the entire 3 seasons of the show.
Oh.
Can't remember if I told you that or not.
No.
That's very exciting.
You said I hope he does.
I did say I hope he does. And it's been some time since actually released some music. So, and we've been saying all along that the songs on the show is tremendous. And I was hoping he'd ever release them. And here we are. He's announced that they're coming out. All 3 seasons worth of music coming out on album. So
better get my dance moves in check though, because I'm out of breath from just doing that.
Yes, so we'll sing along to Mr. McAdams. Make sure you check it out. It's an awesome song. Hilarious and great that Rachel McAdams got involved in it as well. Em, how have you been in the last week? Yes, it's only been a week. Amazing, isn't it?
Sick again.
Sick again. You
Yeah.
were sick last week as well, weren't you?
No, I got over being sick. We did the podcast, and then I got sick. I've only just recently gotten over it. I still feel sick. I don't feel great.
Oh, good. And we're out here doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea out in the 9-degree cold.
Oh, it's all right. It's hot in here.
It's freaking... Did you go and turn it down?
No, I turned it off.
Okay.
It's cooking. I can't deal with that.
Thank God, because, yes, it is cooking. As a matter of fact, just reminded myself of something, Em. Hats.
Oh, my God.
Please do not forget, these hats,
Aaron,
not only are they tremendous,
Aaron.
but they are for sale.
how can they forget? You don't let them fucking forget.
Do you know what we did last week? Didn't mention it all last week. So, please buy a hat and a shirt. We've got tons of both of them left over. We have trucker hats of Playership Podcast as well as
I'm just
case
going to,
sessions.
make a quilt out of them or something, I reckon, at this point. Just get my inner nana out and just make a quilt.
At this point, if you buy a shirt or a hat, we will throw one or the other in. And there you go.
No. What you mean is we'll throw one or the other in. Like, if you buy a hat, we'll throw in a T-shirt. Kind of sounded like you'll throw either me in or I'll throw you in.
I don't know how you got that out of that.
Oh, really? Well, that's kind of what it sounded like.
No.
Oh.
If you buy a hat or a shirt, we will throw
Start.
the hat or the shirt, whichever one you didn't buy, in. And you can have it for free.
You know, all I can think of now is me watching that Super Wog yesterday, and he's like, "Who is this? He is annoying me." It's you to me. She is annoying me.
Who is this? He is annoying me.
What you here for? You annoying me.
This is very true.
Oh my God, it's so hot
It is
in here.
cooking in here. This was a mistake. Anyway.
I'll open the door.
Please don't forget to buy a hat or a shirt. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Press that little button downstairs. We still only have 100 subscribers. So let's get us some more. Please help us out. We do this for you for free. Help us out somehow. Leave us some comments as well, because it's always the same people commenting. What is wrong with you?
You said look for the button downstairs. I can't see anything.
I can see the button downstairs.
Too far. Too much.
Too much.
Too much.
Em, do you have any feedback from last week's episode at all?
No. I saw a comment about someone getting scammed for tea towels.
No, don't ruin it.
That made me laugh.
That's literally the only feedback I have. Well, actually, I have a couple, I guess. Not really feedback, but the jumper was wearing last week's episode. The old
the old bull young buck. Is
choked on
currently
something.
in the washing machine because Erin decided to wear his dinner instead of eat his dinner.
Well, to be fair, Em made a very, very nice dinner, don't get me wrong. It just happened to be incredibly liquidy, I guess. And there was a lot of it. So every time I'm trying to take a bite, I was taking like 5 seconds to hold it there, let it drip, let it drip, let it drip. Okay, now. It wasn't working for me. I ended up with a hell of a lot of splotches on me. A lot of food. So that one's now in the wash, which is sad because I was going to wear it. It's a really comfortable jumper. Super comfy. And it's got plenty of plenty of feedback itself this week from work when I was at work. So quite a few people at work have seen the Old Bull Young Buck show. They've all mentioned it. So shout out to all you lads at work that don't watch this show, so I don't know why I'm shouting you out. Nathan does. Hopefully you are still watching. G'day, Nate. Big Nate dog. Also, Mitch Croden, ex-Freo and East Perth player that we've mentioned on the show a couple of times now. He came into work as well and also mentioned how good the jumper was. So that's great.
That's great. That's great.
Occasionally when I wear the Playership Podcast hoodie, someone will say something to us, which is kind of cool as well. Yeah. We did have somebody say something to us at the footy a couple of weeks ago as well. Can't remember who it was, but shout out to you, the listener or viewer of this show, who stopped me on the concourse at Optus Stadium to say, "G'day, we listened to the show." Shout out to you. Apologies, I do not remember your name, but thank you for stopping me. If you do see us, me or Emma, anywhere, stop us and say g'day. Take a selfie if you like. We'll put it up on the show. That'd be great. So, yeah, Em, that was my feedback, except for the only one feedback we did get on our YouTube comment this week, which is from Matt Harvey, as you said. And he wanted to throw in a little bit more about the Alex Kurtz story, whatever his name was.
The scammer.
Scammer, if you remember from last week. Scammed a lot of people out of a lot of money. God damn you.
I had to put one in just to make you edit something.
That took me so long last week to edit that.
I won't do it, I promise.
I had to do it twice because for some reason it didn't save
It
it.
lagged. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I promise I only say it once.
Anyway.
That guy.
So Matt has given us a follow-up on that, in that when he got his stuff sent to him, so he bought some jumpers or a jumper, he did get sent something in the mail. Unfortunately, what he got was tea towels.
It's not funny. It's funny, but it's not funny.
And I've heard that happen before. People sending bricks instead of PlayStations, things like that.
For the weight of it, yeah.
Yeah, so they sent him tea towels, which is absolutely messed up. And unfortunately, Matt said not only were they not nice tea towels, they were also very well used tea towels.
Disgusting.
Soiled, you might even say.
That is nasty.
So not only is he a scamming piece of shit, he's also a filthy piece of shit. So
With no tea towels.
let us know if you've also received some tea towels or something else from Alex as well. Not because we want to laugh, purely because
No.
we find it interesting, and others might find it interesting to hear about it too. Em was raging last week about it.
I'm okay now. I haven't really got a voice to...
This
Rage.
happens every episode, to be fair. You start out slow, quiet,
And then you get me
methodical.
angry.
I'm usually the quiet one.
You get me angry.
I start out the same, I finish the same, and you start out slow, and then you're here.
Yeah, but
No
it's
time.
like with me, I'm like... yeah?
Okay. You're a musical instrument, apparently.
Yeah, I can't repeat that, so don't ask.
All right, that's all of our feedback from last week. Today will be a quick episode, believe it or not. We have said that 16 times now. But today will be short because there's not a huge amount of content today. But hopefully what we have is good for you and you enjoy the show. Em, first up.
Everyone loves a quickie.
Indeed. However, also on Quickies, it's time for Em's Quick Hands.
Oh, okay, thank God. I was like, where is this going? My eyes started welling up. I was like, where is this going? Okay.
Haven't had one in a while because it's been a marathon every time lately.
Oh. I was like, should I be insulted? Never mind. Don't worry about it. Carry on. Let's move on. Let's edit.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Get that out.
All right, Em.
We're a mess.
First one. There's actually 14 questions.
What?
14 questions.
What are you doing to me?
Yep. I'm getting a few messages, so I apologise if you hear it buzzing. Em, first one. What was your first job?
Wendy's.
And for those who don't have a Wendy's,
Oh, is it
because
not?
I don't know if they all do, but
No, I think most places do. It's a ice cream place.
and
Ice cream.
hot dogs.
And hot dogs, yeah.
I think we have mentioned you working at Wendy's before because when you were 15 years old, I used to go and get hot dogs from you when I would have been about 23. And the hot blondie at Wendy's, I'd always say to Mum, go give her $5, chuck her on deposit for me because one day she's going to be mine. Chuck her on lay-by. That's what I used to tell her.
Disgusting.
And as bad as that sounds back then, it's good now because she
Never
is
did get
now
that
30
$5.
years old. So
Never did get that $5.
we did. I bought hot dogs. Many of them too.
Quick answer.
What is your favourite month?
September. No.
Wow.
I was going to say September because it's my birthday, but no, December.
I was very shocked that you didn't say December straight away. What is your favourite animal?
Zebra.
What is your favourite word? Okay. What word do you hate hearing?
God. I don't want to say it. You can say it.
Well, there's two.
Yeah, but there's one that just...
Moist. Is it moist or juicy?
No, moist is the worst. Ever. My ears, they burn.
What word do you have a hard time pronouncing?
Swarovski? Yeah.
That one.
That one.
Swarovski.
Swarovski.
Swarovski crystals, as a matter of fact, that she's talking about.
Can't say it.
Also, Switkowski. You struggled to
can't
say
say
Switkowski for a long time.
I can say it now.
Yeah, Swisskowski.
Swiskowski.
Yeah.
Mike
What is it?
Wazowski.
What is it?
Wazowski.
What is his real name?
Swikowski. You got me off now. I've said Swik. Yeah, fuck it.
Sam.
Swikowski.
Close enough.
Swikit. Sweet. Swarovski. I can't.
So the word you can't say is
Something crystals.
Swarovski.
So,
Yep.
yep.
Who do you text the most?
You.
Really? Not your best friend?
No.
Not Laura?
No.
Oh, that's surprising. Fair enough. Who is your hero?
This guy.
Legitimately, who is your hero?
I don't know.
It's this guy.
This guy. There you go.
What is your favourite body part?
Of what?
Of you.
Of me?
Yeah.
I can't say.
You can.
I'm not going to say vag.
I don't think anyone thought you were going to say vag. I didn't.
I miss my muscles. When I had muscles, that was my favourite.
Arms. Little biceps.
Don't have biceps anymore.
What's your favourite body part of me then? Or anybody?
Muscles, when you had muscles.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Should have asked that question. What is your favourite dessert?
Oh, my mind's going straight to the gutter every time you say something. That's the way you say it. Ice cream.
Specifically?
Just ice cream.
Don't have a favourite ice cream?
It used to be choc mint, but they've changed it now. It's shit. It's ice cream.
What is your favourite breakfast?
Don't really have a favourite breakfast. Don't really want breakfast, to be honest. It's kind of just a forced thing. This is a boring quick hands.
Yeah, it is. Your answers are terrible.
Yeah.
Give me bacon and eggs on toast any day.
Yeah, but I have to cook it. So it's not my favourite if I have to cook it and you're not going to cook it for
Or
me.
if you
So
just go to the restaurant and
cost me
order
money.
it. Oh, God. Cost me money.
Yeah.
If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to?
Ugh, something not so generic. I don't know. I don't mind my name as long as people don't call me Emma.
Don't call you your own name.
I hate it when you go, Emma. Emma. Stop. Just call me Emma.
But you just said you don't like when people call you Emma.
I don't mind people call me Emma. It's how they say it. Or like when you're in a bad mood, you're like, Emma. Emma. I'm like, all right. Calm down.
Name a 4-letter word that starts with B.
Bean.
Oh, well done. Very good. I had ball in my mind.
Of course you had your balls on your mind.
What is the best non-curse word, one-word insult?
What?
Best non-curse word, one-word insult.
You're going to have to help me with that one.
Well, you can't swear.
I swear too
But
much.
if you're insulting somebody, but you can't swear at them, what's your best one?
I know. Still asking me stupid questions.
It's a good one.
Well, you tell me then.
I really like that one.
I don't like it at all. Can't think of
There's
anything.
tons, like douche, fairy,
Oh, yeah? When do you hear me say those?
all the time. You call me a douche all the time.
Do I? Do I actually?
Peanut, pancake,
Peanut. Potato.
fluffy. Yeah, you call me fluffy. Anyway,
Quick hands.
That
It's
was shit.
shite.
it was good up till that one. I thought it was the best question.
Nah, you ruined it.
Nah, you ruined it. All right, now we have a segment we're going back to.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're going back to episode 13 and 14.
I can barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
Episode 13 and 14, for those of you who have watched and remember, was the best of the worst jumper tournament,
yes.
which was
Forgot about
M's
that.
choices. So what we did in episode 13 and 14 was M picked the worst jumpers out of these 18 jumpers and eventually picked the very worst jumper out of all of them. Now what we're doing today is we're going back. The ones that she didn't pick in the first round would be the best of the worst. So we have, again, 18 jumpers, 9 rounds. 8 rounds? 9 rounds. 9 rounds, I think it was. Where these are now the best of the worst. So, Em, you are picking not what is the worst of these jumpers, but which is the best of these jumpers.
Right.
You got it?
Yes.
All right. So the first jumper, well, the first game we have, first round, is the Adelaide Murder of Crows jumper.
Why is it called that? Is that what it's actually called, or have you guys just decided to?
Yeah, no, it's a technical term, I guess.
Oh,
If you look
okay. Yes,
deeply
yes,
into it, you'll
yes,
see
yes.
it is just a murder of crows flying through the air. So that's why it's called the Murder of Crows. It's also just called a splotch of paint. That's what it looks like. Murder of Crows versus the blue M&M jumper. Carlton's blue M&M jumper from 95, and they did...
So I'm picking which ones I like the better.
Best. Which one is the best out of these ones? Yes. Murder of Crows, Adelaide, or Carlton's M&M blue jumper?
Adelaide.
Adelaide Murder of Crows is the best of these two. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with you on that one, including myself. However, this is your
But no one
tournament.
asked for your opinion.
All right, next round, we have Fremantle's 98, 99, and 2021 3D anchor versus Gold Coast blue piece of shit.
Piece of shit. Yeah, you just said you prefer the M&M one, which was blue.
Yeah, this is terrible. This is a training jumper. Like, obviously it's not. It was worn on field.
I do, yeah.
Still do wear this.
I don't want to be biased, but like I do like the Fremantle one better.
I don't think anyone can be biased in picking between those two because that Gold Coast thing
Doesn't really
shit
live
house.
up to anything, does it?
No, it lives up to a training jumper. I still
does,
don't get
yeah,
why they wear
actually.
it. Anyway, I guess I'm not the designer.
Blue piece of shit. So
Next
harsh on
up
it.
is a very, very big choice here, Em.
Oh.
This one should have also... And we're going to talk about what actually did actually happen shortly. This one should have been this year's retro. Hawthorn Hawks 1995 Blue Diamond pre-season jumper versus the Can't remember what year it was. Looks like a 99. No, sorry, 2000, 2001, somewhere around there. Could have been 2002. Don't even know now. I think it's 2000, 2001. No, one or the other. North Melbourne orange jumper. Boundary orange jumper.
Why did they go orange?
We've told you the story before, and if you look behind the lads' heads, you'll see the orange sponsorship. Orange being a telecommunication company. So they were sponsoring North at the time, and so they wore an orange jumper to go with it.
Oh.
So the blue diamond jockey jumper...
Yeah.
Or the North Melbourne orange jumper.
Look at the hair in that.
Which one is that? Johnny Platten is an absolute legend.
Is he?
The Rat, John Platten. Number 44 for the Hawks. Brilliant player. Also won a Brownlow medal. Which one, Em? Which one is the best? The best?
Yeah, I like the Kangaroos one.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a lot of upset people.
I like the Kangaroos one.
All right. That's a bit sad.
I already know my decision on this one.
Next one is Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide.
04 to 06. There's 3 jumpers in this one, don't forget. Port Adelaide's 04 to 06 Lightning jumper. I'm just going to say Sydney Swans Blue Waffle. Mm-hmm. And the West Coast Eagles Ochre.
Port Adelaide.
Big choice out. Okay. Obviously, it's
not you picking.
Obviously, it's between Port Adelaide and West Coast.
I like Port Adelaide's.
So Port Adelaide's is going to win this.
Yes.
All right, so that is it for the first round. Now we go back to the second round.
Oh, that's a hard one.
We've got the Adelaide Murder of Crows versus Fremantle's 3D Anchor.
Fremantle.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. The Murder of Crows is out. I'm very happy with that because I don't like it. Feel free, Adelaide Crows fans, to let me know if you do actually like that jumper. I do not. But not my club, so who cares? And then the semi-final is North Melbourne's orange jumper versus Port Adelaide's 0406 Lightning. This will be in the final against the Fremantle's 3D Anchor.
Port Adelaide. I still really like it.
All right. There you go. So the final of the best of the worst jumpers of all time, according to M, is Fremantle's 3D Anchor versus Port Adelaide's 04 to 06 Lightning Bolt jumper. Give it to us, Em.
Port Adelaide.
Oh, no. What?
I've always liked that jumper. I told you I've always liked that jumper.
Oh, wow. All right. There you go, Port Adelaide fans. You have the best of the worst jumper of all time.
I don't know if that's a...
According to M, you have the best.
I love the
of
lightning
worst.
bolts.
Yeah, well, apparently.
Apparently, you bitter. Look, you get your knickers out of a knot.
No, look, I don't mind it, but I don't like it either.
I don't mind it, but I don't like your decision.
I'm calling for VRR on that one. Now, as I mentioned in M's tournament there, Hawthorn wore the blue waffle. No, not blue waffle.
Oh my God, you just like saying that, don't you?
They wore the
jockey shirt.
The jockey. I forgot what it was called. What's it called? The
patches.
Oh, you've got me.
Triangles.
The diamonds.
Diamonds.
The blue diamond jumper in 1995. And then this year they put out a thing for this year's retro. And we're asking what would it be. So they put out a poll. A, B, or C. I'll put up the choices now. I think jumper collectors would have clearly been a runaway Blue Lightning. Unfortunately, blue
you
lightning.
are bloody hell. Bloody hell.
The blue
diamond
jumper. Oh my God. What is happening? Too many waffles and lightnings.
You're so traumatized that I picked the lightning one that you just can't speak.
Yeah. The bloody... No, I'm gone. The 3D Anchor is one of the best jumpers of all time, but apparently not, according to him. It's the blue waffles. That's...
Oh my God, no, stop, it's the lightning. What is happening?
Anyway, the blue diamond jumper did not win.
Oh.
Instead, it was the Big Hawk, Big Eagle, Big Hawk that won.
Alrighty, Hawks fans, you guys voted and we listened. It's time to reveal our 2023 Retro Guernsey. And to give me a hand with the reveal, I've brought in 90s legend Nick Holland.
Mitchy Lewis,
Dutchie.
good to see you. Looking good in your retro gear. How about you, in the parachute tracksuit top?
Yeah, and you've got the sunnies. Oh, you've got a
You
pair
just
for me.
need to get in the retro 90s vibe.
How do I look? All good?
You look fantastic, but I'm looking forward to actually revealing the Retros Guernsey, one of my favourites.
Let's do it.
Okay,
3, 2,
1.
1. Oh, how good does that look?
Fantastic.
Oh, mate. What? No.
I got the wrong memo.
No, go get changed. That's not good. That's not good. He does this every time. Oh, that's better, mate. Looks a lot better. Yeah, good.
So, what? How was that not in the best of the worst or the worst of the worst?
Yeah, it was close, but Hawthorn already had one in there, so I couldn't chuck it in.
What is that?
Yeah, so it's the big hawk. That's what they call it. The big-headed hawk.
It's a big owl.
It's a big owl. It's not great.
It's awful. It
But-
doesn't even look like a hawk.
No, it really doesn't. But I actually don't mind it on the ISC template. It looks okay, except for the hawk head. It really does look like a hawk. However, I really, really, really like something that they did.
The middle bit. On the back of the
No, so zoom in for me, Em.
watermarks.
Yeah, have a look at what they are. I really, really like what they did here.
What, the old school?
The old school AFL logo. So that's what they had on the 1999 jumpers in the preseason. They had that logo watermarked into the jumper. I really, really like that. It looks fantastic. It's a great throwback. And for me, it saved the jumper. It saved the retro for me.
It's not too bad, but I wouldn't say it's the greatest.
No, I don't think it's the best choice. They should definitely have gone for the blue lightning jumper. No,
Diamond.
Again.
Diamond.
Damn it. The blue diamond. Should have gone
The
for the
worst
diamond.
thing is you just put some real thought into that and you were so confident that you got that right and you completely butchered it.
You could have let me go with that and I would have been satisfied that I got it right. Completely wrong.
You've done it again.
Anyway,
Surely
so...
there's going to be a tally at the end of this of how many times you screwed that up. Surely. Put a tally.
Oh, God. All right. Well, yeah, it didn't win, unfortunately. The Big Hawk will be the retro. I can't remember when they're wearing it. Put it up on screen. Speaking of retros, Fremantle's retro jumper will be worn in round 22. 22? Yeah, 22 this year against Port Adelaide. Still can't tell you what it is. Yes, we know what it is because they've used our jumper, both the long sleeve and the short sleeve, to get the details correct. Still haven't seen the final completed jumper yet, so I'm excited to see it. But yes, we'll find out very soon what that'll be. Geelong just wore their retro jumper this weekend, and they actually had an auction for it as well, which didn't sell for a huge amount of dollars. So if you wanted to pick up a good Geelong retro, you would probably a good chance. Especially Geelong fans will be happy that it didn't go too high. And then Port Adelaide are also wearing a retro jumper this year. Not sure when. Not even sure what it's going to be. Maybe a blue lightning jumper, M.
Was it only us that
right.
did it
What?
originally? Were we the only ones that did retro round?
We kind of bought it back, yeah. So there obviously was heritage rounds before, but we've pretty much bought it back because we're doing it every year since 2019, except for 2020 was missed because of COVID, but 19, 21, 22, and now 23.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone's doing it.
we've been doing it. They've kind of followed suit. So, yeah, I think Freo kind of did bring it back. So, we'll take credit for that. But there is a question later on which asks a little bit about that as well. And the Bulldogs, I believe, are doing another one as well this year. Don't know if anyone else is. I think St Kilda have done one, maybe. Yeah, I think St Kilda did one as well for the 150th year anniversary jumper. So there's quite a few. You could almost say the Crows did one as well with that black gather round jumper they did too. That was a bit throwback to an old one as well. But yeah, so it's exciting to see old jumpers coming back. It's what we love about footies. These are the jumpers. It's what we're talking about. So very exciting to see. For those also interested, Trent Cotchin's won 300th game recently. His jumper sold at auction as well. Em, do you have any idea how much Trent Cotchin's 300th game jumper sold for at auction? Do you even know who Trent Cotchin is?
No. No. A lot? Or
It's the 300th game Richmond Premiership captain jumper. Oh, that's not a coffee anymore. That's an iced coffee.
No, it's pretty nasty.
It didn't go...
10,000?
Okay.
9,500?
No, double that. So it went for $18,130, which is pretty good.
How much did the Dacos one go for that we were talking about? I'm still really upset about that, by the way.
After fees, it went for $18,000.
I'm still really upset about it.
There were a few people actually upset by that.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
There was comments about that, actually. Where did we see those?
On the Facebook page. Talking about dirty jumpers and stuff. I'm talking to Jordan about it. Jordan?
Yeah, so I didn't even add those in here, so we need to get...
And they were comments,
pull those
yeah.
back up.
Yeah, and someone else said that they were pretty annoyed about it. So I'm still upset about it. Let's not talk about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Right, Em's just reminded me of a bunch of comments or feedback from the last episode, which I completely forgot about. And it's actually really relevant and important stuff. It's stuff that we definitely need to talk about. So, as you mentioned, Em, I'll go through and I'll read some of the comments from our last episode that people have put on the Facebook page. So if you do want to jump on the Facebook page, the Play History Podcast Facebook page, and leave a comment on our last episode or just leave a post or whatever, please do so. We'll read it out for you. Brian Arbuckle, in talking about the Dacos story we were just mentioning, says, wow, wow, wow. The story about the Dacos jumper is horrific. Yeah, it's free enterprise, but it's sad. It's purely commercial and destroys any respect or validity or passion, etc., that comes with being a real collector. And you actually said, I'm still upset about it.
And no reply.
And yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously what they think when they did it was, let's buy this jump. No, I can't really say that. I was going to say, let's buy this jumper and let's share it with 35 other people. But there's no way.
But it's not, though. Like, it'd be, if they did it and didn't sell it, then yeah, it'd be sharing it with other people. But they bought it purely to cut it up to make money off it.
Mm.
Like, they bought it with knowing exactly what they're going to do with it. They didn't buy it and go, shit, let's cut this up and make some frames out of it and share it with the community. We'll just, or give them away to auction or something. Mm. So they purely did it to make money off of it.
Yeah, and I mean, when I said that they did it with a thought to help out, no, they clearly didn't. They did it to think, how much money could we make out of this really cool jumper? And being that they're Dacos friends, I guess, or friends with the Dacos family, they could get him in and they could use him to sign and do this and that and pay him, obviously, for it. So that's not, they didn't just use him for it, but... it's a lost jumper and unfortunately does destroy the validity, because I think somebody else mentioned that how do we even know that the jumper that they cut up and put in these frames was the actual jumper that was at auction that he won?
Don't.
Technically we don't. Being that he is friends with the Dacos family, he could very well have got the unworn one, cut it up, put it in the frame, sold it off, obviously sold for huge dollars, made a lot of money, and then he still has that jumper in his possession.
But he can't really do anything with that jumper then, because then if it pops up, someone that's bought that will be like, well, and then you'll get done for a lot of trouble. Be I don't know, false advertising, or
there's a lot of things, but
you'd get done for fraud.
Honestly, it wouldn't be surprising, because a lot of things have happened with this business previously.
Oh.
So it honestly would not surprise me, and I'm not saying it has happened at all. Probably hasn't. But
it'd be a fraud thing, though, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Because you're selling it for something that it's not.
Mm. And I'm not going to say it would be the first time. It wouldn't be the first time it's happened, but there have been a lot of queries and thoughts, and more than queries from higher-end people, police, etc., that have taken this business a bit further than they would like. So it's a little bit on the shady side.
You just don't know. How are you to know? You're not going to take that little fabric out.
No.
And even if you did, how would you know?
Yeah.
So
Well, ideally, it is the right thing. It is that jumper, and he's going straight. However, there was also another post from, I believe, the Bartlett family. Kevin Bartlett, everyone will know who Kevin Bartlett is, but back in the early 70s or 70s in general, Kevin Bartlett was one of the best players in the AFL. The man doesn't sign autographs. Not too sure why. I don't know the story there, except maybe he just doesn't want to be exploited or doesn't want people to make money off of his name or his signature. So he doesn't really sign autographs. So what this same business has done has got him to sign photos and then framed up a Richmond 300 gamer team frame. So all the 300 gamers, put them in a frame, got them all to sign their pieces, and then have this piece of 300 games signed piece for Richmond. The Bartlett family, I believe it was Bartlett family, come out and said, do not buy these. We did not give permission for these to be made. So, yeah.
it'd be fraud.
I mean, I guess it's not fraud because he signed them, so therefore that was their permission, but didn't give permission for him to make these frames and then make money off of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying about it. Sometimes the practices are a little bit shady and not on the up and up. So, anyway, we'll move on from that. Jordan Coates also said, I definitely have to agree with the both of you in terms of the jumpers worn condition. The Pies last few years have basically sold clean jumpers and match worn. And when I mean clean, it's almost a player issue, even though you know they were dirty during and after the game. For example, Jordan won the Will Hoskin Elliott 2022 match worn Anzac Day jumper, thinking he was getting it in this condition, which, as you can see on the number, is absolutely filthy, and you'd be thinking that this would go for a lot of money at auction because it is filthy.
And it looks pretty cool like that.
It looks awesome. And if it was me, and pretty much everybody else's first thought would be, I'm going to go after Will Hoskin Elliott's because it's filthy, and how good would that be to have in the collection? But I received it washed only to get a very, very, very faint blue paint grass stain, as you can see in Jordan's pictures there.
Squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean. And I mentioned that I absolutely hate that because I've had that before, where we mentioned last week with Frio's jumpers after we saw them after the game last week, just covered in paint stains on the back and grass stains, and we got excited at how good they looked. We were more excited about how good would it be if we could get our hands on one of those. We shouldn't be having to think, how could we get one of those, or how good would it be if we got one of those like that? It should be, oh man, I'm so glad we get the opportunity to own the jumpers in the original condition they left the field. But you don't. We don't get that opportunity. We don't get a choice. So really, the numbers that the auctions are going for, I think, will dwindle, and they already started to dwindle, I believe, because people are starting to see that the condition the jumpers are coming in are not what they see on the TV. When they're bidding on jumpers on the TV, you're expecting to get that jumper, but when you get it, you second guess it half the time. Jaeger O'Meara's Starlight jumper, completely clean. It looks like a brand new, unused jumper. So you second guess it. And I hate that. Should not ever be second guessed, especially when you have a COA from the club. To think that you may not have that jumper that he actually wore on the day, that sucks. It should always come in that condition so you can photo match it and show people when they come over to see it in your man cave or on your wall in a frame. They can say, oh, I know that jumper because I've seen that on the field on TV. Not, oh, that doesn't look like the jumper that he wore on that day. And that's a feeling inside that you've just spent these thousands of dollars and these jumper just go, yeah, that's disappointing that this person doesn't even believe it's that. So that sucks for me. Jordan also then says, oh yeah, I was so excited to open and see it, and when it did and the massive stain was gone, I was quite annoyed. Probably more work involved, but I would love to see clubs put up an actual pic of the jumper you're bidding on. And I have also said that to Freo as well, and they've asked me how they can improve their auctions. I have also said that. I've said, one, put up a jumper. I put up a picture of the actual jumper they're going to get, so they know what they're going to expect to get, or get what they're expecting. And 2, have a picture of the player holding it, whether or not it's on the actual listing. But I think the player should hold it up for the photo.
If it's too much effort to do that, which it is, because every time they do an auction, they literally just have the same generic photo of them standing there with a jumper on. And that's when they should give you the option and be like, so I reckon you purchase it, obviously email's there, then they should email you and be like, this jumper is extremely dirty. Would you like it washed or unwashed? And that gives you the option at least to say, okay. Does that make sense? Then if Jordan had gotten this message, he would have gone, no, leave that. Don't touch it. Like, I want it how it is. And someone else might have gone, do you know what, now wash it. So I reckon if they're not going to go through the effort of actually showing you, then at least ask you.
Yeah. But no, I don't agree with it's too much. As far as I'm concerned, it's never too much. If people are spending a lot of money, the club should make the effort to put in the effort and to show you what you are getting.
It's not hard to take a photo.
It's really not. But also, what was I saying? Putting up the generic photos is frustrating as hell. It doesn't take more than a couple of seconds to take a couple of photos.
Well, for instance, every time you buy a jumper, you lay it on the floor, take a photo, done.
Yeah.
So if it's as simple as that, then, I mean, when we get back from the locker room sales and that, and you've bought, say you bought 20 jumpers, it literally takes us maybe at least half hour, because it's like put one down, take a photo, flip it over, take another photo, next. So it's not hard. They've got the people to do it. They just don't want to.
Well, their thought would be, well, we're putting the auction up as soon as the game ends. So for a week, no, so that doesn't make any sense either. They're putting it up as soon as the game ends. So they're going to have generic photos, right? But as soon as they get the jumper back to the club, take a photo and edit the listing and put them up.
Do they wash them straight away? Like, is it they wash it that night?
Yeah.
So that's hard, because then... Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen it happen as soon as they take them off the player. They've got a stain remover, a spray that they use. So they spray it on, remove all the stains, and then they put it in the wash.
See, if they know that they're going to actually sell them, then they should just leave it for a day or two until they've put the listing up. But if they're wearing it again, then I can understand them trying to remove the stain. Yeah,
look, that makes sense. If there's 3 times they wear an Indigenous jumper, then... the third time they wear it, that'll be the time where it's not washed. But also, there's also a problem where if they're wearing a one-off jumper, like Indigenous, retro, etc., the players will also get the opportunity to own a jumper as well. So not only are you bidding thinking you might not get that jumper because it could be an unworn player issue, but you're also bidding not knowing which one you're going to get, because a player has also likely been offered to keep one as well. It shouldn't happen. It should always be, if it's an auction, I'm so sorry, Mr. whoever you are, whatever player your name is, you're not going to get this jumper because we've already offered it to an auction.
Yep.
So the auction person gets that jumper. If you want to own that jumper, feel free to go and bid on it like everybody else.
Purchase it, get online and do it yourself, Okay.
We all know there's more than one jumper, so if it was me, and if I was that player, or if I was in the locker room and I was in the face of the players, I would say to them, these jumpers are going to get auctioned. If I were you, I would change it to half-time or whenever, just change the jumper. So therefore, that you'll be getting one of the jumpers that are worn.
It's worn, yeah.
But as soon as that game is over, the one that you don't take or the one that you aren't offered, that goes up for auction.
Switch them at half-time or something, or in a quarter.
So I think the clubs need to make that effort into telling the players that. There's no reason why they can't. If the players choose not to wear a second, that's their choice. They don't get offered another jumper, or they get offered a player issue, unworn, but that's up to them. But then I was saying, if you put the auction up without the player, without the photo of the original jumper, or the jumper they're actually going to get, that's cool. But then as soon as you get it back to the club, have it signed, edit the listing, put the jumper up with the real photo of the real jumper they're actually going to get, and that way people are going to spend more money probably. Because if they say, oh, that's the jumper I'm going to get, and it's filthy, it looks in the condition I expect, they're going to say, oh, well, now I'm actually happy to spend more money than I was considering doing because I know that at times they don't come in the condition that they looked on field, on TV. So I'm not really happy about spending a lot of money. But if they see the photo of it, this is the jumper I'm going to get. Oh, it looks filthy, the same as I saw it on TV. I'm going to spend more than I considered spending before. Because I know that would be my thought as well. There's no way in hell I'd spend big money without certainty that I was going to get that particular jumper.
Yeah.
Anyway, also Jordan put up another photo of a Hawks one that he did get. Still absolutely filthy.
And that looks good.
Yeah, it looks awesome. So yeah, sorry we missed those ones from last week's comments, but glad we managed to go back and talk about them. And this is a time where we would have another segment. And unfortunately, today, there is no mail day.
You feeling okay?
I am, but sad because I haven't got anything on the way either. It's one of those periods where I'm actually trying to pay off my car or pay a lot of bills. There's a ton of bills coming in lately. That we can't actually spend too much money. So
No.
I literally haven't bought anything since the last week's mail day. It's a little bit sad. So no mail day today, I'm so sorry to say. Hopefully next week.
You've let Andy down.
I have let Andy down. Hopefully next week we'll have a mail day. There is another one thing that we want to talk about before we move on, and that is, if you haven't seen it, Glenn McGrath. Why am I saying Glenn McGrath? On Lloyd's Auctions and Valuers is Gary Ablett's 2009 match-worn grand final jumper.
Oh.
Yep. He only wore it once, or he only wore one jumper in the game, is what he said. And he didn't want to sell it, didn't want to put it on auction, but he's doing it for charity. Obviously, everyone knows that his child has issues where he unfortunately won't live too much longer, which is really sad. So he's putting it out there for a charity, which I will put up on the screen because I can't remember which one exactly it was. I believe it's mothers, something to do with mothers and their kids with illnesses. I didn't do that any justice at all, I'm sorry, but we'll put it up so you know what we're talking about. Last time I looked, it had 13 days left on it, and it was sitting at $31,500.
Jeez.
So, big money. Obviously, he's a champion of the game, probably the best player to ever play, so that's fair enough. The grand final day is a big day for everybody. I believe it was the toe poke game as well. If you remember, Matthew Scarlett running through the middle, toe poked it, back to Gary. Gary turned around, popped in the square, Chapman got it, goal, and that's pretty much what won them the game. So it was a big day, big game, big moment. $31,500, and that was a few days ago that I actually, the 25th of June, when was that? That was a week ago.
About a week ago, yeah.
So it'd have 6 days or so left on it, and I put up what it's up to now. Big dollars, and I think most people would expect it to go 50 grand, which I would think is probably the most that a jumper has ever sold for, an AFL jumper. So good on him. Also auctioning off the opportunity to have lunch with him, and also to play kick with him as well, and then have a coffee with him afterwards, which is pretty cool. And they're also going for big dollars as well. So good on him. Well done, Gary, and still doing great things after his career has ended. We do have, we see over M's shoulder there is the jumper that we had last week's mail day, which is a 2016 grand final Rourke Smith jumper. Now, I sent this to a good mate of mine, Joel Hamling, and said, how cool is this? I finally got one. And then he sent me a photo of his jumper that he won on the day, or that he wore on that winning 2016 day against Sydney Swans. He's framed his up. It's all framed up. So this is exactly what collectors don't like, is a framed and fully signed jumper, especially a framed, fully signed grand final jumper. So the difference between this one is, this is one of a player that is never intending on selling his jumper. It's something that is obviously very special to him, and that he won on the day and with his mates. So he went around after the game and got all of his mates that played with him on the day to sign the jumper, and that's now a forever keepsake for him and his family and his new son as well. So that's something that he will cherish forever. So please don't hit him up because he won't sell it to you. He actually did say to me, he's like, I wonder what it'd be worth. And I said, really? You'd probably only get maybe about $3-4 grand for it. And he's like, oh, geez, I'm never going to sell that then. I said, gee, I didn't even think you'd consider it. He's like, oh, no, I wouldn't. So there you go. If you're ever thinking about hitting up Joel Hamling for his grand final jumper, don't bother. He will not sell it.
Don't.
Yes. All right, Em, on to our next segment, our second last of the day, and it is your questions. Em, over to you for
Terrifying.
viewer question number 1.
What would you like me to start with?
TikTok. The first question.
I'll fucking TikTok you in a minute.
First question, please, Emma.
Mr. Matt Harvey.
Mr. Matt Harvey.
Thoughts on the current jumper market? Hard to sell things, but also not a huge amount for sale. People saving... It's a question basically like, are people saving for end-of-year auctions? Question mark. Wonder if it's just the beginning of a fairly... Put that in one of the words that I can't say. Descent downwards turn due to cost of living.
Yeah, so I think it's a bit of all of the above, Matt. And I think we've had a bit of a conversation about it as well. We see quite a lot of young kids come through the hobby, but we often see those young kids leaving not too long afterwards. So we have had a number of them come through, and they're quite aggressive. I still feel like they're using mummy's money quite a lot. I feel like mummy's credit card has probably dried up, or mummy has seen her statements and has stopped that from happening. But also, the cost of living is killing everybody right now. We were talking the other day about how our mortgage went from $228 a week, which was very good, to now almost $400 a week in just over a year.
Less than a year.
So the cost of living is killer, and we're lucky that our mortgage is only $260,000. People who have a mortgage of $500 plus can't imagine how much that would be hurting them. So the cost of living is massive, and I think that is hugely contributing to the fact that I think that it's definitely on the decline. Obviously, COVID really, really put it on the incline for sure. People had a lot more money and less things to spend on because they couldn't leave the house. So they were just spending it on jumpers and going nuts, and people started to get a lot more into the hobby. And a lot of it still has stayed up, but it's certainly on the way down. And also people just aren't buying as much lately at all. There would be a time where you'd put a jumper up and it would be gone within seconds or minutes. Now you're not getting any interest whatsoever at all. So, people's habits and spending habits is definitely changing. As I said, I don't have anything coming in for me this week, and I didn't have anything come in last week either that I paid for. It was on trade only. So my habits have changed a lot as well. I've
just seen a meme about the Titan, and it's funny, but it's very inappropriate.
So, Matt, yes, to answer your question, I can't even remember what the first part of it was, but Em's going to have a look.
I need to keep turning my phone off because shutting my... Never mind. Thoughts on current jumper market?
Well, there you go. I've answered that question for you. And also when people start to finish off their collecting habits, what it is that they're trying to collect for, what reason are they collecting? If people start to finish that off, maybe they start slowing down. I guess I could definitely say I have. I used to just buy everything that popped up. Now I've had my chances at buying certain things, or I've wanted to complete collections, and I've almost done that. Or one thing that Em mentioned earlier that I was going to talk about was the name round jumpers. So I had 24 name round jumpers in my collection, all Freo ones that I'm talking about, and I've talked about them on the show before. A Chris Main name round jumper came up on eBay last night for $399, which is the most I've actually ever seen a name round jumper come up for. It's more than I paid for my Monday one, which is nuts, and that was match worn and signed. Oh no, I think I got him to sign it myself. But anyway, see that come up, and I I did have a thought. I was like, all right, I'll have a go at it. I offered him $325, thinking that's quite a bit. It's a lot of money. But I didn't think about it. I just thought, $325, he'll take that because that is quite a lot. And then he declined it and said he wouldn't take less than $370. As at that moment, I went, I can't complete this collection. I have 24. I need probably another 16, 15, 16 more to complete it.
And about $400 a pop.
At about $400 a piece, that ain't happening. So my thought immediately went from, I want to finish this collection, and previously years past I would have just done it, to I've got a mortgage, I've got to pay a new car, I've got to do this, that, electricity bills getting expensive, water bills getting expensive, all this. Whereas it's like, okay, do I really think that $400 for the next 15, 16 jumpers is a good idea? Nope. So that changed my collecting habit immediately. I went, all right, well, now that I have 24 of these jumpers and I've decided at this moment that I can't finish this collection, and I've had most of these jumpers for 9+ years, that's a long time, that people have been able to appreciate them in my collection, which has been nice. But now I have an opportunity to then share it with the rest of the collecting community who have appreciated those jumpers. So that's what I've done. I've put them up for a fair price and sold 7 of the 10 that I put up within 20 minutes. Not $399 either. $250 each, I think, is very fair, and in future they'll be worth much more. So I wanted to share it with the rest of the community who have appreciated them, and I've done that, made a bit of money for myself, which I can now go pay off the car and the rest of my bills, and have a little bit left over for a deposit for the next car. But that's what it's about.
I think without the name jumper thing as well, like you were saying about kids with mummy's money, I think a lot of younger kids or younger people saw you doing the collecting and other people and going, oh, this is a real easy way to make money. And then realise that, like, they kind of have to sit there for a while and then go, oh, shit, like, you know, I need money for something. I might as well just sell them, realising it's not as easy to make money off of them as they think it is. Because a lot of the ones that you sell, you've had sitting here for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think they got into it thinking, oh, this is easy, and then gone, shit, I need money for something, trying to sell them, practically got back what they paid for them, and then just gone, oh, this isn't for me.
Yeah, that's right. There was definitely a lot of flippers come through and resellers who thought that during this boom that they could pick up jumpers cheap, make some money, and it's all very easy. But like you say, very quickly it's turned into a decline in the market, and people aren't making their money back. They're often losing money just trying to get out of it and try and get back whatever they can. So off they go, and we're back to pretty much our core bunch of collectors,
the usuals,
that we've had for
the originals,
years, who are more in it for the fun and love of collecting in this hobby than it is about making money. So, and I think that's the main thing, is we'll see them come and go, but the best thing is that the core will stay together for a long, long time, even if it's collecting in the background. We all know we're there, and we're all there for each other, which is the great thing about the hobby. Generally, if anyone has a question, they know where to go, and we're all happy to help. Unless you're a flipper and you've just come into the hobby, then make up your own mind. That's one thing, is I think a lot of the core collectors, I say, get a little bit annoyed when these youngsters come in, and rather than finding out their own research, because they are definitely flippers and they're just buying jumpers to make money off them, go and do your own research. Stop wasting people's time. If you're going to talk to these people, this just needs to be about the love of the hobby, and not, what is this because I want to sell it. Because they're not going to talk to you anymore. So, we've seen them come and go, but the core collectors are still there. Some new ones that have come through, which tremendous collectors as well. So they're all welcome. Just do it in the right way. Thanks, Matt. That was a very long-winded answer, but it was about 4 questions in one there.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And got to share a bit about my collection.
I'll give you the easy question next then.
All right.
Alex Scott wants to know, what's your favourite lolly?
Now, I had to clarify with Alex what he meant. Is it actually candy that you meant? He said yes. So when we say that we would love you guys to ask us absolutely anything, This is what we mean. Alex has asked us what our favourite lolly is. So on our walk tonight, then when we took our beautiful Milo for a walk around the block, we were talking about it. Em wanted me to share what my favourite lolly was. But I said, no, you're going to have to wait for the show. So I've been thinking about it around that walk. As a matter of fact, it took me 10 seconds to figure out my answer. But I want to know, what is your answer, Em? What is your favourite lolly?
Strawberries and cream.
So one of the little strawberries and cream that you get in one of those Allen's packets?
Yeah, Allen's ones, yeah. Strawberries and cream.
So my favourite lolly, Alex, and everybody else out there in Players Podcast, Cave Sessions Land.
Because they're all dying to know.
They are. It's a very important question. My favourite lolly is one that no longer exists, and it's really, really upsetting. My favourite lolly is a toffee apple, but not in the apple form. My favourite toffee apple is the bar, the stick of toffee apple. When it was red on the outside, green on the inside. And that is important because they redid the toffee apple, lolly, strip, candy, lolly. I'm going to go with lolly. They redid it and they changed it. They inverted it. And it was not as good as it used to be. I don't know why they changed it, but you could only get it from the railway markets. The little lolly shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once they changed it and brought out this new version of the toffee apple, I didn't like it, and clearly no one else did because they were gone forever then. Really sad because toffee apple lollies, the sticks, for me, were the best ever. So I really miss them, and that would be my favourite. Second would be a very good Redskin. And when I say a very, very good Redskin, I meant one that is soft and chewable, that doesn't hurt your freaking teeth.
Yeah, not the ones that have been sitting there, like the rock ones. You need one that's like, it's like warm and yeah.
Yeah, you just bite it and just chew it off.
And you'd pull it and like all the string would come off of it. Yeah.
Yep. And you can just chew it and you just feel that flavour just bursting through your teeth.
Not called Redskins anymore.
What are they called now?
Red Rippers.
How boring is that? Red Rippers. Anyway, I hated the rock hard ones because they'd hurt the shit out of my teeth. But yeah, a really good soft Redskin was great, but give me a toffee apple any day because they were always perfect when you bit into them.
Found with like Redskins and stuff too, or like Fantails are discontinued now too.
Yeah.
But yeah, sad. Those type of hard lollies, you'd bite into them and then someone would walk past you and ask you a question. Are you fucking serious? Right now? Yeah, and you do the whole like... Like, come on. It was like they waited for you to put it in your mouth and then they're like, oh, what's the weather today? And you're like... You're joking. I'm going to be here for 20 minutes.
Great question, Alex. That's probably one of the best questions we've ever had. Please share with us what your favourite lolly is. I would love to know. Third and final question, I believe.
From Blake Cook. Do you think AFL should get its shit together and have the rounds sorted for the year, like retro round, Maddie's round? What's that?
Maddie's round is Maddie Revolts.
Oh, okay, sorry. Maddie's round, so all the teams can have jumpers ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get their shit
they
together.
definitely need to get their shit together. Because as you mentioned before, when you said, oh, is every team doing retro or who's doing retro? Like, everybody should just do retro. There should be a retro round or a heritage round. It needs to come back. There obviously was one. It hasn't happened as a league thing since 2007, I believe. So it's a long time, and Free obviously trying to bring it back, but the AFL needs to get together. They do a retro round. Like, they do promote it as a retro round. What do they do for it?
Nothing.
Well, they have the goal umpires dress up in the old stuff, I think.
And then they have an advert going retro round, and everyone's all wearing like retro stuff as like a joke, but that's it.
It's bollocks. It's not true retro round. It's not heritage. It's just bollocks.
That's a word I should have used.
Exactly.
Bollocks. I do say bollocks a lot.
I don't like it. I hate the fact that the AFL doesn't get their shit together and just announce this week we're going to do this, that week we're going to do that. That way the clubs are across it. They can get their shit together. Everyone can have uniforms. And for those clubs that have to get their stuff pre-made, it would be great if they knew a year in advance. So, for instance, next year's fixtures will come out soon. The AFL needs to tell each club, this week's going to be that. And we expect you to have a jumper for this or whatever. So everybody knows what's going to happen and when instead of this guessing game. Obviously, clubs do like to surprise when they pull out random shit every now and then, but I'd prefer everyone just know what's going to happen and when. And yes, it does give the opportunity for clubs to actually get them out, because when they do it the way they're currently doing it, they don't have the opportunity to go to the manufacturer and say, oh, we need a jumper for this, because they just don't have the time to do it. Manufacturers, they don't really care. They're not in for it for the clubs. They're in for it for themselves. If you're asking for something to be done in a short amount of time, it means they're going to put on more people to create these jumpers, make these jumpers, and spend more money. That does no thank you. So everyone needs to know in advance. So yes, ideally, AFL gets their shit together and everybody is happy. Thanks, Blake, for your question. That was a good one. That was a very good view of questions, even though there was only 3.
I know.
Em, our final segment today is What's in the Cave? Just love that look you give me.
I don't know. No one else can see it, that's why.
No. Let's jump over to the wheel. Oh, that is Little Dicky, Mr. McAdams, that I was playing right before the show. Let's jump back over to the wheel. There we go.
Hope it wasn't eating crude.
No, thankfully it wasn't. But you should go and watch that, because it's fantastic. We've mentioned this show many times now, but it's great. You should watch it. All right, Em. Before I spin the wheel, what number are we going to get today?
I'm hoping something low, like 2.
All right, well, let's hope for something high so we have a non-Freo jumper. Those of you who are new to the show will get a number from our viewers, and Em will go and find that jumper.
Can't get over how fitting last week's was. It was a David Mundy one, wasn't it?
It was.
That was so fitting. For
We
the David
just
Mundy
missed
episode.
343 by
What
Clint.
a shame.
And you got Sam Dorr with number 21.
Oh, what a good man.
Nice and easy for you. And I reckon it might be a name round jumper.
You reckon? It's probably one of the ones you sold.
It could be. All right. I guess we'll fast forward. It's only 21 jumpers, but we'll fast forward it. We'll see you very shortly. All right. Em's back. And truth be told, she picked up 21. And it was one we had on fairly recently. So we've gone for 22.
No, it was something we got recently and we explained all about it. So I just went for number 22.
Fair enough. It was a former Mail Day entry, which was the yellow trainer's top. So we've pulled out number 22 instead, which is pretty exciting because it's a little bit interesting. There's a bit to talk about it. Em, do you want to show us number 22? There it is. So what's interesting about it is, yes, it's another Freo jumper. I'm so sorry. However, this is a 2004 home Fremantle jumper. How do you know it's a 2004 home? That little Fremantle Dockers logo in the middle there, that is the dead giveaway. It's the only time they did it, was that 04. As you can tell, there is no sponsor, no manufacturer's logo anywhere on that jumper. So the collar there, nothing in the middle. If you pull it up a bit, Em, you'll see there is no jock tag down the bottom. No sponsor's logo or no manufacturer's logo to be seen anywhere at all. Reason for that is the club decided to make these ones in-house. So technically, they were made by Concept Sports, but they were made in the club. So they didn't have manufacturers. Technically, it was made by the Fremantle Dockers themselves, however, put together by Concept Sports, but they didn't have a manufacturer's contract, so they were just put together by Concept Sports and worn out in the field as is. You'll also see that there's a Bankwest logo, which is a nice throwback to what we are currently wearing in 2023, with Bankwest having returned to the club. And if you turn around them, you'll see it is a number 2 Troy Simmons. It's quite a long jumper. Troy Simmons obviously played for Fremantle and then Richmond. Big ruckman. Was actually a very good quality left-footed player. And you'll see the Bankwest logo on there as well. No AFL logo on the number. That didn't come in for another 3 years until 2007. So yeah, the Bankwest logo made a double appearance on this jumper.
I kind of forgot that we had Bankwest before.
Yeah. So it made a reappearance, and that one was from 2004. Very nice. Double extra large, that one. He was a big man, Troy Simmons.
Pretty solid.
Yes, indeed. That's it. This is the shortest episode we have ever done. How good, Em?
How good.
Let us know if you prefer the shorter episodes or you like a longer one, which is us just talking shit most of the time. Let us know if you enjoy the segments.
We get carried away.
We do get carried away.
We get carried away.
I reckon people are going to want to hear or see your Titan meme as well before we leave.
My what?
The Titan meme that you saw.
Ah, are you
Pull it
ready
up.
for this?
Now
Are you
pull
ready
it
for
up
this?
and
It's not funny.
It is funny,
It's
no
not.
doubt.
It's
While
not.
Liam's pulling that up,
No,
don't forget to
I've
like
lost
and
it.
subscribe to the show. Press that button down there. Show your appreciation for us. You can do so by buying a hat.
I should have
or a
saved
shirt.
it.
We'll give you a buy one, get one free on those as well. If you let us know you've bought one, we'll send you the other. If you would like to donate to the show, you can do so as well.
I've lost it.
Yeah,
I should have saved it. It was 4 little pictures and it was little stick figures, right? And it was like the guy had a controller and it went, you lose, and he's gone, God damn it, and he's thrown the remote and it's cracked the screen of the Titan, and they're like, and that's how they fail. Gamers apparently throw the remotes because they get...
Yep.
And it was an Xbox controller that controlled it. Yeah, it's a little stick figure guy lost on his game, threw the controller, smashed in the one mirror, the one window of the Titan.
Yeah. Which actually reminded me of somebody put up a post on one of the Freo Dockers pages, and it was their Smash television. And it started off fairly innocent. It was just smash my TV because of Freo again, and you being Freo supporter, you'd understand that. It got very dark very quickly because he then mentioned that his wife had left him and he taken the kids to the mother-in-law and father-in-law's house to get him away from him because he was too angry because obviously couldn't handle his anger after Freo lost. It smashed his TV and wife got scared. So, yeah, it got dark real quick.
About that video I sent the other day, it was a dark humour where this guy was like, all you people making jokes about the Titan and that, you're just horrible people. He's like, imagine paying $1 billion to go on this thing to see the Titanic and you never get there. You'd be crushed.
Jesus Christ. All right, and on that note, that was a good time to finish it off. Thank you, Ed, for joining me on episode 17 of the Player History Podcast Cave Sessions. We will see you next week for episode 18. Please send us your comments. We will read them out on the show next week. Thanks, Em.
Now I've got that song stuck in my head. Mr. McAdam.
Let's play it on the way out, shall we? Let's do it.
Oh,